What's going on, guys? It's Lee. Thanks for watching Hang with Lee TV. And today we're going to talk about what to do when you have a terrible job. Okay. Now, I think we've all been there. We've all had some pretty terrible jobs at one point or another in our lives, right? And today I want to talk to you guys about some things that you should be thinking about and maybe a little bit of advice to help you get through this tough time in your life right now. Now, if you're new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because I make videos on personal finance, adulting, and things like that. And I think you're really going to enjoy the content. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button as well. Like I said, I think that we've all been there. We've all had some pretty crappy jobs at some point. I can remember this one job right now that was just absolutely terrible. And I'd had like intense dread about going into work every day, and it was just so horrible. It was the worst. So one of the first things that I'm going to suggest that you do is to hang in there. Okay, I know that it's tough. I know that it's probably very stressful, but I think at the end of the day, you have to focus on what is most important, right? And so typically for an adult, the most important thing is to keep the roof over your head, right? Make sure that you can pay your rent, pay your mortgage, car note, groceries, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you can continue to take care of yourself, right? So in order to do that, that means that you're going to have to keep working, right? And I know that sucks, but you're going to have to keep working. And I know it can be tough because it can just be a toxic environment, just absolutely toxic environment that makes it so unbearable to work. But you gotta just think about the goal. This is gonna pay your bills. So think about that. Your boss can be a jerk, can be down your throat every day. But again, you have to keep that in mind so that you can work through it. Now, the second bit of advice I'm gonna give you guys is to make sure that you have an emergency fund. Now, hopefully you already have one, but if you don't, what that means is that you want to have a separate savings account. This is not where you're not mixing up your vacation money with this, but you're going to have a separate savings account that is dedicated to all of your expenses, okay? Not how much you make every month, but your expenses. So everything that would be going out on a typical month, that is what you want to save. So you want to crunch those numbers, figure out what that target is, and make sure you have 3 to 6 months of that saved. Now, why do I want to do this, Lee? Why? Why are you telling me this? Well, if something happens where you're laid off or you're fired or something happens just in general, you want to make sure that you're protected and you want to make sure you can continue to pay your bills and things like that. Because one of the worst things that can happen is that you lose your job or something like that and you are not able to continue to make those payments. And what's going to happen if that happens? Well, it's going to affect your credit. It's going to affect your payment history. And overall, it's just not a place that you want to be because it's going to be basically digging yourself into a hole each and every month. And every month that goes by, it's going to get harder and harder to climb out of. And so definitely going to be important to keep that in mind. Now, the next bit of advice is very important. Now, I know that you're going to be off at work every day, working and dealing with this stressful situation, right? But the most important thing that you're going to make sure you do is to realize that finding a job is a full-time job in and of itself. So when you get off work, don't go to happy hour, don't go hang out with your friends, go to the movies, all that. No, you don't have time for that. Finding a new job is definitely where you're going to be spending all of your time. And typically it can take people anywhere from 3 to 6 months to find a new job. So it's very important that you start as soon as possible looking for new opportunities because it's very important that you get out of this stressful, toxic situation that you're in. And I don't have to tell you about that because you're the one facing it every single day. So make sure that you guys redo your resume, make sure it looks good, make sure it's up to date, and just start applying for positions. Immediately start applying for positions. Now, the next bit of advice I'm going to give you guys is I think it's very important. And, in some ways, I think it is, a little bit more important than applying for jobs. And that advice is going to be make sure you have LinkedIn. Okay. Now, when it comes down to it, LinkedIn is a fantastic place to be to find new opportunities. And I'm telling you this because I've done recruiting for a lot of years. And one of the main things I know and I remember is looking for people that fit a certain job that I'm looking for. And so I would often go to LinkedIn to find people and I would send them messages and let them know about the new opportunity and talk to them and try to find out their contact information, email them, because that's where you're going to find a lot of talented people. And so if you want people to find you and, showcase your experience and skills and all that, you definitely want to have a LinkedIn. Now, one of the things that I'm going to advise you is if you don't have a LinkedIn, like I said, get one as soon as possible. You definitely want to make sure you have a professional photo, okay? So before you do anything, make sure you have a nice professional photo. Now, you don't have to go out and pay someone for headshots, but you can, set your phone up somewhere, put on a professional outfit, take a quick, headshot with your phone if that's all you have. So make sure you do that. And so the next piece to this whole LinkedIn puzzle is that you want to start to grow your network. You want to grow your connections on there. So my first bit of advice is to, like I said, sign up, put all of your work history on there, okay? Make sure that's all filled out, your profile is complete, right? And then what you want to do is you want to start adding people that you went to college with, or add people you went to high school with if you didn't go to college, or trade school, or whatever your situation is. Add those people. Now, if you don't have a photo on there, I'm going to tell you right now what's going to happen. People are not going to remember who you are. And then if there is a recruiter or someone that is looking at your profile because you popped up in their search results, because you don't have a photo, they're not going to know if you are even active on LinkedIn. They're not going to know if you're a real person. And so they're going to be a little bit apprehensive about reaching out to you versus 10 other people that have a photo on there. And so make sure you have a photo. It's putting a face to your name and your experience. And if you don't have it, it's really going to hurt you. After you add people from college or whatever, you definitely want to go back and add friends and family members, okay? Add all those folks. Then after that, you want to go back and think about places that you've worked. And you want to go and find all of your coworkers that you used to work with. As long as you had a good relationship with them, you definitely want to add them. Add all those people. Coworkers, old bosses, everything. Add everybody you can. And the whole reason you're doing this is because you want to grow your network. And so when it comes down to it, like I said, people looking for people to fill roles, they're going to be able to find you through those connections that you have. So if you don't have many connections on there, it's going to make it harder for them to find you. Finally, you want to add people that you work with. Just add everybody and anybody that you work with that you can come in contact with. The next bit of advice that I would give you is to make sure you leverage the network that you already have. And so one of the things that I often find with people who are looking for new opportunities or they need a new job, they tend to want to do it all themselves. They want to apply, they want to go online and send out their resume to a million different places, and they think that that's all they need to do. But I think that that's a bit short-sighted, and it's not the most efficient way to go about things. Now, it's a fact that for people who need to find jobs, the best way for them to find a job is through a referral or through someone that they already know. And so we already talked about the LinkedIn piece, but what about everyone else that you know? So I would go ahead and reach out to, again, friends, family members, old coworkers that you have a good relationship with, and talk to them. Now, again, stop worrying about, I don't want to beg for a job. I don't want someone to know that I'm having a hard time. I don't want blah, blah, blah. Just stop making excuses. These people that you used to work with, these people that you know are going to be the fastest way to a new opportunity for you, okay? Period. The last bit of advice that I can give you, and it's something that I should have mentioned a little bit earlier when it comes down to LinkedIn. A lot of times when you're looking for new opportunities and you have LinkedIn, you can also find people that are in the same department that you're looking to be hired under, right? So let's say it's HR. You do a little bit of research, you find people that are currently working at that company, and maybe you can reach out to that person in HR. Maybe you can reach out to a recruiter even. And you can ask them about that opportunity. You can introduce yourself. And sometimes forming those little relationships online can also lead to an interview. It can lead to actually being hired. I know that, as a recruiter for many years, a lot of times candidates would actually reach out to me personally on LinkedIn, and we would have a little conversation. And maybe it would just be, the little nudge that I needed, or sometimes it would be the needle in the haystack for me. They might have the exact experience I've been looking for, but I might have overlooked it in their resume. Or, like I said earlier, their LinkedIn profile could have more information about their experience, and whereas their resume may not have done them justice, because not everyone's resume is always going to be the best either, right? And so again, you're putting all these different feelers out, you're taking advantage of all these different connections that you have, and is going to lead to a greater chance of you getting the opportunity that you want. All right, guys, so those are just a few tips that I have to basically help you move or push through, working in a terrible job to get on to the next better part of your life. If you're watching this video and you have some advice for people that are in that situation as well, or if there's something that you've done while you've been in this type of position that worked really well for you, go ahead and leave a comment below. Definitely would love to see that. I'm pretty sure that's going to help someone else who's watching this video as well. So again, go ahead and leave that comment. Also, if you didn't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that button. Also, if you like the video, please hit the like button as well. It just motivates me to continue making videos just like this. And I'll see you guys next time.